Okay. Hi, class. I'm here sitting with Manabu Inada. He used to be the art director in '96 at MTV, one of the very first websites ever.
Yeah.
How was it? Did you have to explain people what the web is?
Yes, the 1994 around that moment, the Bill Clinton was the president, and
Okay.
Al Gore was vice president,
Yeah.
and they had a kind of one of a mission, the super information highway, which is they kind of spent a lot of money for infrastructure of a new communication tool and communication, and that's how kind of web design website or web communication started around 1994, and MTV at the moment was kind of a leading brand of youth market or young people. So they decide to we should do a website very early and take advantage of those technology, blah blah blah. So that's how MTV starts.
It was unusual for a company to have its own
Yeah.
and spend so much money
Yeah.
into developing. Yeah.
Because many of the people at the MTV believe broadcast, so TV is a main media.
Yeah.
And every time I join the acquisition meeting or whatever meeting, creative meeting, they're talking about the TV, not online.
In the head.
Yeah, and then they just talk, and then by the way, online people, anything you can sell or you can tell about us, blah blah blah. So we are so they look down on us because everything is based on business. So we started from American Online. I don't know how many people still remember that brand, but AOL and MTV had alliance, so we had a business partner.
Yeah.
MTV wants to have a new technology or new communication tool. America Online wants to push their name out, so they want to get MTV's more already established brand for youth market and young
market. And it came with the AOL product.
So
you could sign up and you have.
So they funded us to create their own format of MTV.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Not website. How does it? That's the portal.
Yeah. Back then, and then browsers came, and
they have their own browser.
Actually, the websites we designed together was sort of the second wave when it was already on the Netscape browser.
Yeah.
And then, did you go through Flash and all these technologies?
Yeah, Flash. The first America Online, Netscape, Mozilla, that kind of stuff. Regular web design, and then what was that? Flash design. What else? And also JavaScript.
Yeah.
JavaScript.
Right, more interactive.
Yeah, it's
and then they had user-generated content for chat.
Chat
and they tried a little bit with music selling, like iTunes.
Yeah, a year before iTunes, Apple released the iTunes, we had a secret project, and MP3 player was so new at the moment.
Yeah.
And but so we kind of thinking about maybe we should produce the player and something like iTunes.
Right.
And I was part of a project, and I keep designing user interface design, blah blah blah, very very similar to iTunes.
Oh yeah.
And as you know, a big company sometimes has a creative or business committee. Mm-hmm. Their decision is very slow, and they're very careful about every single detail.
Right.
And then suddenly iTunes and iPod, and oh my god.
Yeah, it seems like MTV was always one step behind. They were just faster coming out.
Yeah.
And actually do teach this all my clients, my students right now, that as soon our clients do, as soon as your product can just the smallest possible version that you can just throw it out there, and then iteration of making it better. But I think MTV was still stuck in that old kind of, you have to have a fully functional product 100% before they can. And then that's too late in most of it.
Yeah. And anything, MTV not gonna like develop the hardware. Or like iPod or Sony's, I forgot the name, but some like MP3 player.
iPod, where there was? Or mini disc player?
No, something like that. So what they do is like they kind of like a business partner alliance with some, Sony or I don't think Apple never. Well, actually we did, but that was probably secret topics. But so then it becomes a more business matter. So that means kind of takes a long time for agree the contract and whatever, So that's the reason. Always kind of takes a long time, and we've already finished the basic concept or vision of project or even draft design of a user interface. We've already finished it, but like, hey, what happened to that project? And they're like, oh yeah, we still doing that.
You don't know the hardware for it. Yeah.
Those like business people still talking about like contract and that kind of stuff, and then someone.
Right.
Yeah, some company.
What was cool about MTV though was that it was very visual, very image heavy. Yeah. Other websites would shun away and like, we cannot. This takes too long to load. But MTV always pushed for a really beautiful look. So you did like back then. The style was sort of this techno.
Yeah, that moment like house music, techno, trip hop, and those kind of like music. It wasn't new, but kind of like second wave, third wave of techno, digital music, that kind of stuff.
What do you think in the future for emerging platforms? And you mentioned something about AI.
Yeah, AI. So I think that like for internet or web or whatever. Smartphone, those like interface design, more relate to based on the AI, and that they can customize
individually.
Yeah, they analyze like that kind of like a little bit relate to privacy issue of the internet, and any of designers now or in the future needs to understand the privacy issue and that kind of stuff, and before is like we just make it very cool, graphics and also easy to use, easy to understand. But now add on those like privacy issue because many of platform kind of like knew what you're doing. Like it's like a form follows function, function follows form and that kind of stuff. Form means graphic design. So that's the thing. I don't know if that would be fun.
But do we need designers in that?
I think we still need to push, any of innovative or interesting or kind of like offbeat style coming from human. It's not from AI.
Yeah.
Because we make a mistake or we set the color a little bit off.
Right.
Or even, I don't know. It cannot be perfect. Because we are not perfect.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So maybe AI even analyze our imperfect sensibility beyond that imagination.
Right.
Because I don't know, like we have very weird, crazy sensibilities sometimes, and then we could kind of compete each other like AI. Hey, who is craziest person? Like AI or us? Like
Oh, right.
Kind of like we kind of could enjoy. I mean, not negative meanings, like a more positive meaning. Something innovative or And also, I think in the future, the device will be changing because right now it's more very hard.
Yeah.
But scientists, technology already invented more soft. Like a paper, like something like this, It looks like paper, but
Right.
it's the display. And
Like-
that is a
like
moment.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, right. And then that is a moment probably young designer or young designers start like kind of like, hey, it looks like a magazine, like old school magazine, but it's a new technology, and they're like,
Yeah.
wait, I don't have any fundamental, knowledge about the editorial design for magazine or books. Yeah, even like we were designing web design. Do you remember the guy called Edward Tofty? Like we did, probably, future designer going back to like 1950s or 60s art magazine.
Yeah.
Or like avant-garde magazine or something. I collected avant-garde magazine, that kind of stuff, like which is
The Llewellyn.
yeah, late 1960s, mid
Yeah,
60s,
60s.
and
yeah.
they released a square, perfect square, kind of like looks like a banner.
Art.
Yeah, they developed the avant-garde font.
Yeah.
Their editorial style and also contents is so interesting.
Yeah. The articles are really
Yeah.
good.
So I think people start kind of like digging those design, old magazine, and yeah, I think that's probably might happen.